is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the commercial. The commercial way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the commercial.
Yes, very good evening to you all, Nigerians and other people across the world. This is the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Lamte Ikmusa Oriahi. I want to salute you depending on where you're joining us from. This is the Comrade Show, like I said. And I want to start by apologizing. I was supposed to have, an interview with Senator Roland Owe, much earlier today. We've been trying, to establish connection, but of course we've had glitches. It's not been, we've not been able to, connect with him right in Nigeria, of course, because of network issues. And so, having taken some time to try to establish connection, we're unable to do that. So we've not, rescheduled the interview for Saturday. Hopefully, all things being equal, we'll be able to establish that connection, because there's a lot we want to talk to him about. Because right now, so many questions are coming up, particularly with respect to, the government and of Edo State and of Edo State and Nigeria in general. And we think that we believe very strongly that as a friend of the government and one who is a statesman, a friend of Nigeria, so I'm Nigerian himself, he will be able to, throw some light into some of those, questions that many of us are asking. So hopefully, we'll be able to bring him on Saturday, and of course, get that interview, going, and of course, try to see how we can, see through him to begin to look at some of those burning issues that, are plaguing us as a people. Yes, I see Kevin Solomon already joined us. Moses Edukbolo, my friend, God bless you for joining. Yes, Kudirat Ajoke, thank you so very much. It's been a long time, Kudirat. How are you doing? Yes, Ozika Abraham, I see you. Ikbuba Iyobusa, thanks so very much for joining us. Saidi Mwetinya, Robonoso Kokoni, thank you very much, my guys. Thank you so very much. Please, if you are joining us, help share this broadcast, because, yes, we've not been able to get Uwe on. We still have some issues to talk about. And I'm going to be starting by playing us a clip. There's this clip. I think the man is a Ghanaian, but much of what he talked about, they are the things that we as Nigerians, readily identify with, but it's just the same thing. And that is why I actually titled this broadcast, We Are Our Own Enemies, because looking at it, oftentimes we've had time to, talk about, government, talk about the president of Nigeria, and so many other things, those in government and all of that. But when you really look at it, you know, from the president to the least person in Nigeria, everybody's culpable, one way or the other. You know, we are our own enemies, and of course, we've got to look at these issues seriously. More so, you know, that yesterday the governor of Edo State did touch on some of these things, and of course, expressed fears himself, you know, over, you know, the trajectory of Nigeria, as it were. And he expressed fears to the extent that his fear is that what is coming, you know, may be something that is going to consume every Nigerian if we don't take measures now. Of course, all of this boils down to the fact that we are and have been, always have been, our own enemies. Unless and until we begin to change the old narrative and begin to reorganize the Nigerian state, the issues are very deep, and there are issues that we cannot be quiet about. There is the dire need for us to start a new process, you know, to start a new Nigeria, you know, and the new Nigeria must begin with every Nigerian. And that's what we're going to be talking about. But before we zero down into the matter proper, I want to play you this 3-4 minutes clip. A message from a Ghanaian, I think it's a pastor, where he actually talked about we being our own enemies. And we're going to start from there. Take a listen. Let's start on this note.
We are our own enemies. We are the deadly virus infecting one another. I read an article that talks about a man said, I got the opportunity to meet 6 rich Ghanaian men, and I asked them this question: why are they not building factories for the youth of this country to get a job to do? These 6 rich businessmen burst into laughter as if I have said something funny. Then one said, the people shouting, no food, no jobs are all thieves. The writer said, I said, really? I was shocked. And the man then went on, he said, I run a manufacturing business and trading business. He said, the biggest challenge in my manufacturing business is not electricity. It is not infrastructure. The biggest challenge is getting honest staff. Everyone we hire appears to be on a mission to steal as much as possible. They will inflate invoices, recording less than the actual number of units produced. The worst part of it all is that all the fraud we have uncovered is not done by a single person. It is usually many staff who collude with each other, from the production line to sales to finance and even to top management. The businessman said, there was a year I overhauled management 3 times. I now use Indian expatriate management. So competent, so honest, and so straightforward. I thought they were expensive at first, with all the visa fees, accommodation, house staff, but now that the losses due to staff theft have been reduced to a minimum and efficiency increased, the Indian management has turned out to be cheaper than the previous African Ghanaian management. Now all sensitive positions involving money go to Indians. Africans are only allowed in non-sensitive positions. This is what the businessman further said. I used to criticize indigenous African companies like Dangote Group that hire so many Indians when there are many unemployed Africans. But now I understand their painful decisions. He said, my biggest challenge in the trading business is the same. In other words, he has a trading shopping business, and he said, it is getting honest staff. The form of trading occurs in open market and involves staff having access to huge sums of money running into few millions. I know how much I pay to security companies to provide the escort for the staff, not to prevent robbery, but to ensure that the staff will go straight to the bank and will not run away with the money. This money spent on security companies is even enough to be declared as profit. He said we have to spend a CCTV, biometric scanners, and other things that wouldn't be needed if the staff weren't looking for opportunity to steal. He said it got so bad at a point that my own criteria for employing a staff was no longer competence or certificate, but honesty. At least competence and skills can be learned, but once you are dishonest, you are dishonest. He said we always complain of the economy and how there are no jobs. I know people abroad who would have loved to set up job creating businesses in Ghana, but they can't because they can't get a trustworthy person to manage the business. He said, I know people in Ghana with so much money, they want to start factories and other job creating businesses, but they can't because they are occupied elsewhere and they can't get any trustworthy person to run the business. Instead of investing in the real sector and creating jobs, they would rather buy treasury bills and keep their money than opening a business to employ Ghanaians. He said Dangote can open a shop and businesses in every African country in this world. But the problem is that they can't find good people and honest people to manage. He said their biggest problem is top government officials, the dishonesty between government officials that is preventing Africa to become better. He says start a small farm and they start a small poultry farm and they will steal the eggs. He said if they don't steal the eggs, they will intentionally kill the chicken and the fowls and then they will ask you if they can take it home. Start an entertainment center or a game center and then the money will go into the pockets of the workers. He said the day the sales will go very high, that is when the business owner is there himself. He said they forget that they are eating your money, but they are also eating their future. Buy a car and let somebody run it as a taxi, and then they will finish you. Start a restaurant, and the people will take half of the foodstuffs into their house for food. He said even the small business shops, the small kiosks in town people will still find a way to steal from the shop owners. The worst thing that happens is that they will make this code that that every person eats from where he works. They will justify the stealing. He said, I usually say the reason most Ghanaians haven't stolen billions of money is that they haven't gotten the opportunity. How can a businessman say that he managed his company and the Ghanaians he employed were running down the company? And they would rather prefer Indians to be top managers. And these Indians are managers that they are honest, they are straightforward. The Indians are not Christians, but most companies in Africa have trusted them because they can run their companies very well. 70% of the population are Christians here in Ghana. 17% or 16% are Muslim. You put that together, over 92% of the people in Ghana are religious. So you ask yourself the question, what is the use of going to church? What is the use of their being religious? And yet Hindus who are not Christians are more straightforward and honest to sustain a business than the people who come to church on a Sunday. We are our own enemies. The businessman said, you wonder why there are no jobs? The people you meet them on the streets, if they are asking for jobs, you employ them today. Tomorrow they will run your company down. You employ members from your church and they will destroy your business for you. We are the Judases, betraying one another. We are our own enemies. Okuku Seku.
We are our own enemies. Okuku Seku. I don't know the meaning of Okuku Seku, but I want to imagine that it is chicken. We are our own enemies. This story, is situated in Ghana, but the truth of the matter is that this story is equally situated in Nigeria. There are so many questions about this story. This we are our own enemy story. One of the biggest, questions about it is who are the they? You know, they run it down. They do this, they do that, they do that. The real truth is, the day are we, you and I. Some of us are going to watch this clip and we are going to agree tenaciously with this man. But in our own private lives, when we have the opportunity to be honest, very many of us have not displayed the character of honesty. Very many of us have actually played roles to pull people down, overtly or covertly. Very many of us, we will watch this, we will distance ourselves, we will like say, they. But we are very unconscious of the fact that when we had a chance to be working in that, you know, poultry, or in that poultry farm, or in that agric farm, or in that factory, we were stealing from those people. I think it's important we start beaming a searchlight on ourselves, first and foremost. Because some of those things that we do sometimes it's very small. Like, you know, the capacity is small. It looks like it's not being noticed. And you understand? But when you enlarge it and you put this, you replicate that with a different scenario where much is provided, you find out that what you are doing that appears so little to you, and that's your own little sphere of life, can be gigantic in another scenario. We are our own enemies. And I have a lot of illustrations about this. When I listen to this man's message, as he was talking, he's making reference to Ghana. I'm actually looking at Nigeria within the same context. Every day I come here, I talk about the failure of the Buhari administration without excuse, without, you know, fear of anything. I talk about how governance has failed us. Situating that in Edo State, how governance has failed us woefully. I've even talked about, Delta State. And of course, with Ibori, that is the one that came to the glare. That is the one, that was caught, that, the whole world now knows. Just about, 4 million pounds or so is what has been released to the Nigerian state. Ibori still has, there's still over 100 million pounds, okay, stolen by Ibori that the British government will still need to return to Nigeria. 100 million pounds, that is what we know. That is what, which means that the capacity for that to be more than that is huge. 100 million pounds is more than 64 billion naira. More than 64 billion naira. Now, if you juxtapose that, and of course we now look at the story told yesterday, by the governor of Edo State when he was holding an interactive section with the transition committee and of course stakeholders. He did say that last month here, Nigeria had to print additional 60-something billion to make up for paying, the various states, their allocation and probably derivation and stuff like that. 64 billion. There are rules, okay, to printing money. The more money you print outside of, outside of the bracket, you understand what I'm saying now? The more, danger you subject your economy to, the more worthless you subject your currency to. And that is why the governor of Edo State said yesterday that he is very much afraid of the future of Edo State, of Nigeria. That he's not even thinking of, 10 years' time. He is thinking of the next 1 to 2, 3 years. Because right now, global attention is shifting away from petroleum, products, from crude oil and stuff like that. People are beginning to embrace renewable energy, an alternative source of energy, and all of that. So which means that at some point, as a matter of fact, in the UK, from 2030, they want to phase out diesel cars from 2030. So everybody's already planning alternative, source of energy. So that at some point, okay, Nigeria's crude oil will become, what the Edoma will call airborne, will become juju. Nobody needs it anymore. Nobody will need it anymore. Now, what are we planning for? And the governor did make us, open our eyes to something, and which is very true. I probably have not actually had that line of thinking before. Nigeria is one of the only few places in this world, probably the only place in this world, where every component part of the country is going to the federal government every month, okay, to collect stipends or to collect what they call allocation, with which the states run their economy. Nobody does that anymore. Every region, every state, in other places of this world, okay, they are almost economically independent of the center, almost, because everybody is got something is generated. As a matter of fact, Nigeria is one of the few places in this world where nations still rely heavily on what's it called, natural, resources and all of that. The places that where countries that don't have natural resources, I am marveled how they are doing a lot better than those ones that appear to have, particularly in Africa, we that appear to have all the natural resources. You understand what I'm saying? What natural resources do we have in the UK? UK is a service country, and yet they have planned the system in such a way that nobody is broke. The nation is surviving. They have surplus. As a matter of fact, in the course of this COVID, the amount of money the UK government brought out to stabilize the people during the lockdown, where nobody, as a matter of fact, only very few people were working. The amount of money this country brought out, the loans they gave out, it was like rain was falling. But they equally have strategies on how to get back all of their monies. Get better. Nobody's under pressure. You will be here. You want what they call a 100,000 pounds loan, and of course you meet the criteria, you will get a 100,000 pounds loan. But they will equally put the measures in place on how you are going to pay back the money. They did a lot to stabilize the economy. To the extent that when people were having the forecast that, after COVID, okay, the UK economy was going to be bastardized, everybody surprised that the shock absorber in the economy is huge. It's huge. The country is bouncing back. And yet, this country does not report exporting crude oil or refining crude oil. They generate their resources from within, from services. From services. The same thing applies to so many other countries. Now, we are coming to a point where if we are not prepared, okay, if we are not prepared, but from the revelation that came out from the governor of Edo State yesterday, it means that if we are not prepared, okay, we will start eating each other. This is going to be on top of the bad character, the bad culture we have already established over the years. So, for people who are calling for restructuring, okay, and for those who appear to be adamant to the idea of restructuring in Nigerian state, look, there is no way about this. Nigeria has got to restructure, and if we are restructuring, we have to restructure honestly. Honestly. The truth of the matter remains, and that one is not changing, no matter however anybody's going to look at it. Okay? The failure of the Nigerian state today is hugely predicated on the policies of the present government we have. Hugely. Because at the end of the day, this is a government that was elected to make life better for the people, to improve what was obtainable in the era of Goodluck Jonathan and all of that. But this government is so bad that people have all of a sudden forgotten the rot that bedeviled the Jonathan administration. That you now even see people in some corners calling for Jonathan to come back and take over the rest of power to contest in 2023. Because the rot in the present Buhari government is so much that we now forgot the pains that Nigeria embraced when Jonathan was president of Nigeria. So the truth of the matter is that we cannot say because the Buhari government is bad, it's unfavorable, is leading Nigeria to the abyss of no return, that the alternative now should be Jonathan. The Jonathan administration gave room for all of this that we're having right now. Because with the opportunity and the privilege Jonathan had, if Nigeria had run very well, as it were, there is no way there would have been clamor for Buhari. And right now, we are almost now begin to sow the seed of the same mistake. Because the Buhari tenure administration is so bad, people are now looking at the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They are not looking at the likes of what's his name, the PDP man, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. They are not looking at all such people. When we are supposed to be retiring all these people and telling them that there is no space for them anymore in this Nigerian political space. People my age are praising Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is alleged to have changed his age 25 times on Wikipedia. 25 times as alleged. Now he's now younger than Charlie Boy, 69 years old, the same age with what's his name, Adams Oshomole. What nonsense! And yet you have people who are writing bloggers defending him. Then what this is a country of more than 120 million people, a lot of whom are very educated, sound, great people. From amongst all these young people we have, over 70 million young people who have the capacity, many of whom have the capacity to lead and lead us right. So the man that we are looking to settle for is President Muhammadu Buhari. I mean, it's what's it called, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or the other man in PDP, or a few others around them. Some of us believe very strongly that the new Nigeria that must be born not just in line with restructuring, but in line with a mandate, okay, that is given to new generation, a new generation of Nigerians that are reborn, a new generation of Nigerians who understand where we are right now and have good ideas of where we should be. All these guys you're looking right now, all these Bola Tinubu, all these, goons you are seeing right now, okay, they have nothing to contribute. Bola Ahmed Tinubu stood and advised that government should employ 50 million youths and put them in the military service. I shook my head. Put them in the military service? That came from somebody who is aspiring and looking to become president of Nigeria. Some of us looked all around the world. I don't even know if the entire world army, is up to 15 million. The entire global army. And you are saying that the only means of employment for the Nigerian youth is for them to go and join the army. And that is what could come out of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And so when I see young people like myself singing this has always been the problem. Because the real issue we have is not about these never-do-wells in government. These people that have killed the Nigerian state. It's about us, our generation. We are the real problems. Look at Edo State today. Edo State will always be an example for me. The values of the state, in fact, the values have changed tremendously. Every young man now, for you to be, in that class, you have to excel by way of being a Yahoo Plus guy. People no longer value, the processes that are established by law, that, a credible people have taken step by step to get to where they are. People acquire certain things, having worked for a long period of time, they tell you, all the things I have right now, okay, they are due to 40 years of service, of work. But you see a 20-year-old child, 22-year-old child, he wants to quickly drive the best car around. He wants to go to a club and impress. Society is not frowning at that. Proudly, you hear them say, oh, now Yahoo Plus guy. Proudly. To the extent that, a guest I had once, Imaswe, said that some parents now even take their children and go and give them to Yahoo boys to say, teach them work, teach my children work, and all of that. So at the end of the day, if we do not kill, okay, this decadence in our society, okay, we are just, in fact, Yinka Odumake may so rest in perfect peace. He said that Nigeria right now, if Nigeria is a clock, Nigeria is some minutes to 12 midnight, which means that we are just very near the abyss right now, unless and until we genuinely make up our mind to change the narrative. And that's what I'm saying, without fear of intimidation, that Buhari is a mistake to Nigeria. Because the Benin man says, it is the head of an animal that you look for the eye. I mean, I was listening earlier to Joe Biden. I listened earlier to the President of America, Joe Biden. He has issued some executive orders over the issue of gun control in America. And they're going to be coming up with a serious bill, because they've seen that the issue of gun ownership in America has become a problem, a major problem. Now they're looking to not deal with that situation. There will be resistance, but they are willing to make sure they deal with the situation. I was listening to him, and I said to myself, I said, this man's age and his experience, having been, in the corridors of power, for a very long time coming, will be a blessing to America. Can we say that of Buhari? Today, as we speak, Nigeria is in a state of topsy-turvy. There is so much confusion and so much fear in the land. I listened to one man who made one video. I listened to him. The man is traveling. He was supposed to travel from Abuja to Benin. He said he bought his ticket for about 140,000 naira to come from Abuja to Benin. But just before the time, his money was refunded back to him, and his ticket was sold to a higher bidder in Nigeria. Where else can a thing like that happen anywhere in this world apart from Nigeria? And yet, there are no deterrents. There are no deterrents. Everybody is just looking to make his neighbor. Everybody is just looking to kill his neighbor. And the country is just running like autopilot without control. Everybody just doing as we like. In fact, extensively, we have been, and probably always will be, our own enemies, except unless and until we begin to understand some of these things. I'm talking about these things because, if we don't hear, okay, we may not be able to look at ourselves. And I'm talking about it in the light of the fact that we should take a look at ourselves individually. Wherever we're, because for every message we hear, every negative message we see, okay, that we identify with, we distance ourselves. We say they. That's what we always do. But the big question is, who are the they? Who are the they? As I speak right now, I talk about Buhari, but the truth of the matter is this. For you who is looking at me right now, who may be watching, who's going to watch me later, are you free yourself? Can you really tell yourself that, yes, you are an exemplary citizen of Nigeria? Can you? Let's face some realities here. Can you really tell yourself? Can you certify yourself? Because I believe, they say, little drops of water make a mighty ocean. It's, one step at a time. If we are able to start exonerating ourselves one after the other, and we are truly sure that we are exemplary citizens of our country, probably we may be close to that point. It's a question of embarking on true evangelism about this. It's a question of embarking on true orientation process. Because at the end of the day, we are truly our own enemies, all of us individually. So by the time we are looking at, what's it called, the president of Nigeria, we are looking at the governor of different states and all they are doing and all of that, and we are unable to see the small things that we are doing, then it's a problem. There is a problem. I have a few guys around me here in Europe, in some countries of Europe and all of that. What these guys do, okay, these guys, they have mansions in Nigeria. They've done a lot of things with money in Nigeria, but some of them have never worked in their lives. If I begin to open my mouth, some of these things that they do, they tell me they do, to make money and all of that. And yet, when the discourse comes up, when the debate comes up about Nigeria, fingers point to the politicians. Fingers point to those in the corridors of power. Those are the fingers point to. But we easily forget that there are some of us in Europe whose business it is to just go about looking for how to double cross people and use their bank accounts for this and for that and for that. And yet, some of these people are the champion of criticism. The truth is this: our state and those states, our nation Nigeria, could actually be healthy if we truly want to lead honestly. But the reason why we cannot exonerate the leaders, the reason why we cannot exonerate the likes of the Buharis and all of that is because they have the mandate, okay, to give us a nation that will be acceptable by all of us. So whatever is happening at the cocoa below level, whatever is happening at our own level, whatever is happening that the ordinary citizens are doing is a reflection of what they are doing in government. I was talking about the doctor strike. And some colleagues of mine who are in the medical profession, they were trying to convince me that yes, it is bad that the federal government of Nigeria, is not caring much for the health institution, of Nigeria, as it were. The infrastructure, the health infrastructure and all of that, But they were equally, like blaming the authorities of the health sector who are demanding, for this and for that to improve the health sector. And they told me, in their words, that these guys are so corrupt that a lot of them are looking for their own personal gains instead of the interest of the entire structure. Now, why they are passing that blame and that buck, what I told them was, in a country where today, Kaduna State governor came out, is it Kaduna or Kano State? Ganduje. He came out to say that they may not be able to pay match salary, implement match salary. In a country, this same country where it is all of our own, one state is saying they cannot pay salary because there is no money. Meanwhile, there is a National Assembly made up of a few hundreds of Nigerians who are going home with multi-millions on a monthly basis. Some of them, in fact, there is nothing actually that qualifies them to be in that place. In this same country where some Agberos, in quotes, by virtue of the fact that they are members of National Assembly, they are going home with 40 million naira, 30 million naira, 20 million naira, where a professor in a university can hardly go with 300,000. Then you will expect ASU and the management of ASU to be taking it easy with the federal government. A country where the fact that you have become, a political leader, the fact that you have been elected into a political office, it is a via for you to become rich. And it's acceptable. And everybody begin to worship you. Come on. Come on. It has been a case of go there and bite your own. Go there and bite your own. We have remained perpetually our own enemies. We have remained perpetually our own enemies. We are raised in families where we are not taught values. The kind of values that we grew up into is the one that we have to swindle each other. As I speak right now, in fact, I'm looking to get full information about this particular thing I want to talk about right now. We have planned to go to what's it called? To go to Ugbogyobo on Saturday to go and install lights and all of that. And I've just received a call now that Ugbogyobo is boiling. I'm yet to get the full picture, and that this Saturday cannot be feasible anymore. And I try to ask, what is the issue? The issue is that CDA has come out in full swing, and they have threatened that except they are settled or something, that they will destroy the lights that we are coming to install at Ugbogyobo. This light is going to benefit the people of Ugbogyobo. The people of Ugbogyobo are the people who make up the CDA, and yet they are the ones who are threatening now that we cannot come and install lights for development in the place, except they are settled. In this same time that we are in right now. And somebody has come here to say, man, please, if there's a way we can reach government to look into this. Now, not just Ugbogyobo. The activities of CDA is springing up in every corners of the state right now. Somebody that ordered the other day, massive fights because of land matters. I have received calls. Somebody was sold a land. That land had been sold to 3 other people in one community. Very close to Ogba. The person is even a light angel, as a matter of fact. One of our light angels. She's passing through this problem right now. The people doing this, they are not foreigners. The other day, there was massive, outcry over the issue of Fulani herdsmen, over this, over that. Now, if we remove people from the equation, what are we doing to ourselves in Edo State? If we remove these foreigners from this equation, in what way are we treating ourselves as a people? I have many friends in the UK, not the UK, many friends outside of Nigeria, whether in Europe, in UK, America, wherever. Some have called me to say, please, comrade, is there a way? Is there a way you can help us? We see that from what we see of you, you are legit. Is there a way you can help us procure a land and help us build the land? How about your family? We cannot trust our families, because the other project I put in their hands before, no go, no come. Many Nigerians who live abroad, many have sent money home for things to be done on their behalf. Their families will swindle them. Their families will eat them dry. Some will come and they will become frustrated. A few have come to Nigeria and even commit suicide. Some will come to Nigeria to demand for all the monies that they have been sending home for houses to be built for them, for industries to be built for them. And the family cannot account for anything. They will even plan further to kill them. And yet, we are all crying for a better nation. We are all crying for a better nation. We are crying for a better state. We are putting figures. Oh, governor never do this one. Governor never do that one. The you who is talking. Can you assess yourself and certify that yes, you are a good example? Because of abroad, that's what I can imagine. So many of our people at home, they can no longer do anything because they expect $50, $100 to be sent to them. No, they don't want to do anything anymore. Now we are talking right now, foreigners have to leave, outside people have to leave. But the state is actually surviving based on the information I have right now at my disposal. The survival of the state right now is in the hands of these foreigners. And yet we have our people. We are either queuing and running away, begging to be enslaved in Europe, or begging to embrace the land of prostitution or armed robbery or all sort of vices. On the flip side, we turn around and say, governor never do this one. Local government chairman never do this one. President don't do this one. This one do this one, do that. But meanwhile, in our own little world, in our own small world, we are culpable. But it looks to us that our small one, it be like saying it no matter. The average Nigerian, the average Edo man who lives in the diaspora has no confidence in his people. Because they have swindled him or her over and over and over and over again. Some Edo people live abroad who are now living frustrated. Because all their life earnings over the years, they have trusted one brother, one sister, one uncle, one auntie to help them put some things together. So we're even looking to retire, to come home after all the hard work. And some of the work itself is not a glorious one per se. Only for them to come and nothing's available. And that brother, that uncle, that auntie, that sister who is responsible for frustrating this sister or this brother abroad, we turn around and say, what the governor will tell us they do? What the president they tell they do? What the they tell they do? Meanwhile, if we look at the level with which you have frustrated somebody, you are even worse than even the political leaders that we are talking about. We are our own enemies. We. The message we listened to just now, the man talked about religion. There is no way we cannot talk about religion in this whole equation. Nigeria today is one of the most religious countries in the world. In the world. In the world. You hardly find anybody in any other religion again apart from that Christianity or Islam. We are most religious and yes, we are most backward. Nigeria is the poverty capital of this world. Infant mortality rate in Nigeria is one of the highest in the world. All the many bad things in this world, Nigeria is taking the lead in all of them. And you want to tell me that it is just the political leaders who are responsible? No, it's not just them. We all are. We all are. Show me a man who will exonerate himself. Show me one. Show me one. Start from yourself. Honestly take a look at yourself. Because we need to start looking at ourselves. Because the truth of the matter is that while we are perpetuating the evil we are perpetuating in our own small world, even if the whole world is not aware, at least we see from our conscience, we know the role we are playing. Because at the end of the day, if we are looking afar, believing that, the people who are responsible, who should be responsible, should be these, the political leaders and all of that, and we're not looking at our own small this thing, then we're making a huge mistake. And I'm very particular about Edo State because somehow charity has to begin from home. Just now, within the last 1 to 2 weeks or 3 weeks or more, as the case may be, the entire internet space was held hostage by Benin people. Held hostage. Everywhere you turn, it is one shameless person or another. Everywhere you turn, everybody became a referee to matters that happen or probably happen to consenting adults. You think to where the matters are going on, or the thing comes to your, what's it called, your feed news page on Facebook or YouTube. You see 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people glued, watching an unscripted movie, watching and playing roles in it, and all of that. Everybody making judgments here and there. And I sat up and said, man, suppose everybody who's making these judgments could just look at themselves inside out. Jesus Christ said, he who has not sinned, let him cast the first stone. Why will this matter of some sin committed by some persons, when we were not there, become a matter of everybody's refereeing and all of that? We have become so in tune with trivialities, so in tune with matters that ordinarily should just be left the way they are to sort themselves out, where we consciously and proactively face matters of our own growth and development, either as individuals or as a collective. We are our own enemies, all of us. I am making bold to make all of these statements because the Benin man says, if you do not talk to, a spoiler to say you are spoiling, he will say he or she is repairing. The Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. It said the word of God is power unto salvation. So we must hear the word. And that is why I'm saying the things I'm saying right now. I mean for those who are Christians. So apart from the word of God, okay, the word that will build us, okay, is a word that we need to hear, to understand. Because we are making a lot of mistakes and many of us cannot see. We cannot understand that we are making mistakes. Mistakes have become a way of life to many of us. It becomes normal. It's normal. So the things I'm saying right now will even be strange to so many people. What I'm saying right now, so people may just start getting the awareness. Because to them, swindling others. The other day, I've seen clips of, the same misguided kind of people taking their phone, calling somebody on phone, go and get your bank card, read the visa number, read the long numbers for me, and this person is fraud. You look at the percentage of the youth we have. A huge portion of them is looking for it's all about money. How to defraud somebody, usually previously, it was, according to the Edo people, we are no longer doing that. As a matter of fact, only give it work. We are now beating our own and collecting the revenue from them. People are doing a lot of things at the end of the day. So, if we need to rescue our sheep, because what is coming is huge, it's great, it's bigger than whatever any of us have seen before. The nation of Nigeria is collapsing, and it's collapsing in our very eyes. Some of us are concerned, very, very concerned. Somebody spoke to me the other day and said, thank God, oh, comrade, well done, oh, in his words, say, thank God, oh, I no longer have family members in Nigeria. So anyhow, they want to have any waka. I felt sorry for him, for his shallow-mindedness, because this man who was calling me to talk to me refused to understand that it does not matter how many passports you hold in this world. Your real original passport is the Nigerian passport. Because at the end of the day, the only place we can truly lay claim to as our home is that Nigeria. as an Edo man, Edo is the only place I really can lay claim to say, this is my place. And this is why even my own private life, I think of what we can do, what I can do, what we can generate to make Edo a better place. And I think that this is what all of us need to be doing right now. I am worried about Nigeria, there's no doubt about it. But the truth about it is that there is no way, okay, that to jumpstart the process of correcting Nigeria, we are not going to start it from our bedroom, from our compound, from our local government, from our state. Because if we are correcting ourselves in those states, hopefully Delta State will correct themselves. Hopefully Ondo will correct themselves. So the wider Nigerian picture will not immediately set in for someone like me. I am keen about those states. I hope and I hope and I love that Edo people all across, particularly my generation, but in another 20 years or less, my generation would have expired. And that's the truth of the matter. So it does not matter how much money you got from fraud. It does not matter how much money you got from swindling people. It does not matter how rich you are. Someday you will fade away. Someday you will die. And you will leave all of those things. The only thing that will be left of you is what people are going to remember you for. That is the truth of the matter. So no matter how much wealth you die for, you kill yourself for, you kill others for, one day you close your eyes and that's it. And that's exactly why I pick quarrel seriously with those who have the opportunity to be in the corridors of power. They steal money, they stash abroad. Some of them die. Nobody even has access to those accounts. They are just wastes. Imagine if they were alive, those multi-millions, they did use it judiciously to build their society. Their names will be remembered for a long time. The United Kingdom may never be forgiven by Nigeria because of what it did during the colonial period. They may never be forgiven by Edo people because of what they did during the expedition where they took our Oba away and stole our wealth and resources. But we will not forgive them, probably. But you know the funny thing? Many of those colonial masters, okay, they are being worshipped today. Many of them, okay, they are statues of these people standing in various places across the UK. They remember them for their exploits. The exploit was bad for us. We are not happy as a people. But where they come from, they are remembered because they stole to build their land. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Rather, we are stealing from ourselves to go and give them to keep building their land. You, the politicians out there, you still, everybody stop multi-millions took to the UK. What for? What for? He's not the only one, but he's just the one that was caught. You can imagine what all other governors, all other local government chairmen have been doing. Look at Edo State now. Local government tenure just expired and all of that. We have tried to beam a searchlight at all the local government chairmen. We are hardly able to find two amongst the 18 local government chairmen. Based on the resources they got, that we can say this one is worth returning back. What did they do with the resources? And you go to Wahua, state money to say, build your community, develop the roads, make life better for your people. It's a privileged position. But you're not beggar. The president of Nigeria, shameless man. I will play this clip again. In fact, I have it here. Thank God I have it here. This is what he said. Under his watch. Please take a listen. Take a listen.
$2.1 billion. Billion, not $1 million, were voted for military hardware and software for the operations against Boko Haram. Those responsible sat down as if they were going to have lunch or dinner and shared it and put it in their accounts.
You're kidding. The money that you designated to fight your major terrorist group, Boko Haram, they put it in their pockets.
Yeah.
It just like it was. It's like they shared it and put it in their pockets. That was in 2019. Under your watch, $2 billion, not be 2 billion naira, $2 billion, money enough to even help to stabilize the country. People just shared it, and they've been sharing. Today, this president is being asked to account for 25 trillion naira, and yet we are crying today that the country is sinking. We are crying now that the country is sinking because of the bad policies of governance, because of bad implementation, because of lack of concern. And one day all of these people, they will die. They will die and leave the nation. They will die, and all these resources they are taken away through corruption will be left here. No naira, no dollar will be buried alongside anybody. So my own opinion to Edo people most especially is that there is a need for us to change the course, to change the way things are being run, to be able to have a different idea of what life should be like. You are having money, you are starting it somewhere and all of that. Who are you starting it for? Use it, spend it judiciously, make it okay. Do something that people can remember you for. A life that cannot be remembered is not worth living. And that is the truth of the matter. Any life that cannot be remembered is not worth living. At the end of the day, we are greedy, we are selfish, we are our own enemies. So, Edo people and Nigerians, I don't intend to drag this matter too long, but it's a matter that we're going to be talking about regularly. And the reason why we're going to be talking about it is that, you know, there is the need for us to, one after the other, to start understanding that we need to beam searchlight into ourselves. You understand what I'm saying now? And let us begin to know ourselves first, from ourselves. Let the judgment begin with us. Let us set ourselves and clear ourselves to say, yes, we are truly, before look, I'm not going to lie to you, I can talk right now about anybody. That's the truth of the matter, because I have looked at myself by the grace of God, and I can say that as far as living, you know, righteously is concerned, I am very righteous. I am very righteous. I will speak for myself. You begin to speak for yourself. Clear yourself of all manner of, you know, of this kind of things that we're talking about right now. Then you will stand on that very good position to talk about anybody in Nigeria who's not doing the right thing. So, but having said that, I really wish and hope that we Edo people, we need to put ourselves of all of this nonsense and understand that nation building is key. Okay? A life that is lived, okay, in service to humanity is a better life. We have a lot to do for Edo State. A lot. Government over the years have failed. We are hoping, we put a lot of trust in God, believing that Governor Obaseki will deliver on his promises. We hope he does. And we are going to hold him to account. There's no doubt about that. Every step of the way, we are going to hold him to account. For those who are expressing frustration, even right now, look, for Obaseki, you understand what I'm saying now? Some of us will say, advocate for patience, a bit patience. Let him patient a bit. You know, we probably can say, okay, maybe it's too early. Maybe the way he says he's planning this, planning that. That is why much of what the government intend to do, okay, we are not already seeing them. A few things are going on. There's no doubt about it and all of that. But we expect a lot more. But we will continue to hold the government to account. But while we are holding the government to account, we as a people, we need to start keying into those areas. Those areas that can help to build our state. Because believing that it is what the government is going to do alone that will help build our state, believe me, we are joking. We are joking. We expect them to do what they need to do. Let us equally combine efforts to do what we need to do. So that way, at some point, what they are doing and what we are doing, they will meet. And when they meet, it will be glorious for the states. As for the Nigerian political equation, the only way forward is restructuring. And that's the truth matter. And I have advised, but the governor did ask a question, and I'm going to advise again today. As a matter of fact, it's one of the issues I wanted to raise with Senator Owe if we had had that interview today. You understand what I'm saying now? I am advising that if Edo State was an independent nation of itself, will Edo State not survive? If the answer is yes, the government now needs to start looking at those things that will make the state survive. Let us begin to run Edo State as an independent state from Nigeria. Let us begin to run Edo State like a state that is not expecting allocation from the federal government of Nigeria. Let us begin to tap into those states in the state that will make the state to stand independently if the federal government is not there. So by the time we are able to establish, okay, that level, that base to say yes, without anything coming from anywhere, we can survive as a state. Let whatever is coming be extra that can lead us to massive infrastructural development, lead us to massive employment, lead us to so many, expand the cost for all of us. So I will advise the government not to depend on what is coming from the federal allocation or internal generated revenue from just taxation. We've got to look inwards. There's a lot more we can do. I am glad as a policy that the government of Edo State is opening doors for foreign investment into agriculture. And Edo people must be willing to key into this matter. It's important. We must try to be less of enemies to ourselves. This is very key. Somebody called me from Italy. She sent me some footage of what she does. Very huge business that even Edo people, men and women, can be trained to expand the coast for us in Edo State. She's willing, her husband is willing to come and invest in Edo State. But they are afraid because of insecurity. So, and I think, and I believe very seriously, that if we are able to get it right, that's what I'm talking about what's it called, restructuring, like everybody is singing. We must take charge of our economy. We must take charge of our security. We must take charge of everything. So there must be that national discourse to set the compass again and set it right for the Nigerian state. And hopefully, all things being equal, some of these Nigerians and Edo people who are very vast and who have great, who are great industrialists where they live, they can begin to import, what they have over there, bring it to Edo State to develop Edo State. We need these investments. But these investments, they have to be guaranteed. And the people who can guarantee the investment is government. Because government must provide the enabling environment where this investment will thrive. That woman in Italy, she and her husband, they are waiting. I've told them, just wait. You understand what I'm saying now? I want to discuss that matter with them extensively. I'm interested that they bring that matter to Edo State. It is something that if we even train our women, train our men in what they do, in fact, it's massive for our people. This can be a huge earner for the state and for the people of Edo State. And so many more. So many more. I have a brother here who is in the UK. He has got to invest into pet business. It's a huge business. But it's plagued by, a non-availability of power. And these are the areas where, we believe that the government will come in. So, as the day go by, we hope that we are able, to marry all of these interests. Government interest, Edo people interest, and the huge Edo investors that we have abroad. We bring everybody, marry all of us together, and of course, begin to do the right things for Edo State. Hopefully, when Edo becomes a stable state economically and otherwise, hopefully, that spirit can extend to other parts, Ondo, Delta, Kogi, and all of that. I begin to extend. And, and for those who are calling for cessation, you are in your own right, you are in your own world. Okay, some of us don't really readily see that. I believe very strongly that if we tap into our diversity and make it work for all of us as a people, we probably will get it right. But the first thing is, even for those calling for restructuring, have you been able to purge yourself to say, yes, you have the locus standi to stand. Because at the end of the day, what we are basically seeing from among the agitators and all of that is that people have enemies of themselves. There is no honesty anywhere. And this is the truth of the matter. There is no honesty anywhere. Even those who appear to come out to say they are agitating. You understand what I'm saying now? The underlying idea for many of them, okay, is to swindle their brothers and swindle their sisters. So we must be able to act in line with trust. We must be able to set ourselves free from a lot of things. And this is very important, because at the end of the day, what shall it profit a man, you know, to gain the whole world and eventually lose his soul? And that's exactly what we are living. We majority of us, we fight to amass the wealth, to gather the money, to build the best mansions, to drive the best cars. It's replicated even in churches and most religious leaders. They come and they boast. They have 3 private jets. They have 4 private jets. They have this, they have that, and all of that. And when you look around, you cannot count the industries they've been able to put on ground for the people to be working, to be generating resources for the average man. Nobody has that. But they want to tell they have 5 Rolls Royce. They have this, they have that, they have that. Individualized. Individualized. Then they tell you they are helping. Oh, we gave 100,000 naira to one person. We gave 50,000 naira to one person. We gave 20,000 naira to one person. We gave 1,000 naira to 200 persons. Man, they go take chop. That is no help. Don't give money to anybody. Put the industry there. Let them be employed. And let us run a system that is driven by the number of factories that we have in the land, not by the number of churches that we have. Let us run a system that is driven by the number of industries we are able to build for our people, by the number of employment we are able to create and generate, and not by the number of churches and church branches we have all around our country. So my people, there is a lot we need to do. We must look inwards. We must put ourselves. We must understand that true religion does not lie in those buildings, in churches and this and that. It lies in how well we are able to treat each other and how well we are able to live with each other in love, in unity, in peace, in harmony, and above all, in honesty. On that note, my people, I want to say I want to give kudos to members of Edo Dynasty worldwide. In the course of this Easter, they were about town, you know, doing good. And I'm glad, and I hope that more people can emulate them. And I want to equally play this footage. Hopefully, this could encourage some people, some other groups to do similar things. It's happening in Edo State. I'm glad Edo people are benefiting and we're all growing together. Please watch this.
Ceremony with them.
Edo Dynasty organization is a global organization meant to assist the government in meeting with the needs of the honorary persons in society.
We deem it fit to come out today to identify with the voiceless, the less privileged, being the resurrection of Christ Jesus. To show them hope, to let them know that there's hope, there's love.
According to the president, Edo Dynasty United Organization Worldwide, Dr. Brown A. Gill Semigi, plans are in motion to embark on the Edo State Environmental and Tree Planting Campaign. This is to enlighten the public about hazards of environmental pollution and the best ways to systematically dispose of waste. Dr. Brown A. Gill Semigi said the campaign will also include tree planting and preservation of the soil solidity, thereby reducing soil erosion, which is a major threat to the ecosystem. Ameze Obaisiagbon reporting. Members of Edo Dynasty United Organization Worldwide, drawn from across the various continents of the world, were represented by members in Benin City on the visit to Uyosa Orphanage. After a prayer session and singing songs of praise to God, they distributed cooked food and donated food items, toiletries, and other essential commodities to the children. In appreciation, matron Uyosa Orphanage, Sarah Amadine, and some children prayed for God's blessings upon members of Edo Dynasty United Organization Worldwide.
I want to appreciate everyone of you that have come and donated this gift to the children. We pray that Almighty God will bless you richly in the name of Jesus. Amen.
On behalf of Uyosa Orphanage, we want to say a very big thank you to Edo Dynasty for the gift that they have given us. May God strengthen them power to power. Their business will never fall down in the name of Jesus.
We just want to say a very big thank you. May God bless you all.
The team also visited Central Hospital, where they distributed baby diapers and other items to some nursing mothers who gave birth within the Easter period. The next set of individuals visited were the less privileged persons and street children along Mission Road in Benin City, where food was shared in order for them to take part in the Easter celebration. Some members of the team said their decision to donate items to the less privileged is in line with the organization's humanitarian objectives of bringing succor to the needy.
We believe that Easter is the resurrection of Christ, and in doing that, we must put into consideration the less privileged. And that's why we're here to...
Well, kudos to members of Edo Dynasty worldwide and for the good things that they are doing. And of course, all other organizations, we are hoping that we can, fit into some place as far as society is concerned and begin to build Edo State. And for those who have done some things and you want us to showcase some of those things, come on, don't hesitate, let us know. We'd like to showcase some of those things, for every good thing done by groups or individuals and all of that, we like to talk about them. Because at the end of the day, we need to encourage each other to know that, okay, Edo people are doing good and we are helping to build our land. And so let us all join hands together. Let's regenerate, the order. Let's change the narrative. Let's make Edo a better place. Let's stop being our own enemies, because so far we have been our own enemies. And it's time for us to change that narrative. And that narrative has to change now, because the Nigeria that is coming, the Nigeria of tomorrow, is one that doesn't promise much good. And so therefore, the earlier we begin to rearrange ourselves, to change the narrative, the better for all of us. On that note, my people, I want to say thank you for joining us. It's been a Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Lamte Ikpeonwusa Oriakhi. Come my way again. And until then, say, may God bless you all. May God bless Edo State. May God bless the people of Edo State. May God bless the governor of Edo State. And of course, may God bless Nigeria and Nigerians. Bye for now.
Make Comrade Show way. Comrade Lamte Oriakhi. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show way. Comrade Lamte Oriakhi. Live on Facebook.